Hello parents, welcome to Parents Night number 2 for Cyber Night. My name is Joseph Downey. I will be discussing 21st century learners, strategies and apps for our middle school students tonight. If you ever have any questions, I'm going to show you the Poll Now feature, which you can text into, and we're going to get this presentation started right now. So again, I'm Joseph Downey, and you are at 21st Century Learning Strategies and Apps. Okay. Our presentation was a little bit delayed tonight. If you are at home and you have a cellular device or you are online, you can also send into Poll Everywhere. If you have any questions during the presentation, I'll be answering them live. I'll be stopping every few slides to check in and give you the answers that you're requesting. You text Orchard Val 461 to the number 22333, and then you can add your questions in. Our agenda tonight includes a welcome. We're going to be discussing what are 21st century learning skills students are going to need for the future, whether that's going into high school, college, or the career force, 21st century classrooms and what they might look like, learning strategies and apps that you can use with your student. We're going to encourage 21st century learning and give you tips and strategies for your family as well. And at the end, I'll answer any questions that you may have had throughout the presentation. So 21st century learning skills. To prepare our students for college and career, we can't just assume that they are able to master academics. Our students need to become lifelong learners and be able to solve problems that are complex. They must become nimble, creative thinkers, and they need to learn how to collaborate with others. So the following slide is what I call the 4 C's, and these are the major key points of 21st century learning. So the first one you have is collaboration. We are making sure that our students can collaborate with other students, work together, and this can range from working with diverse learners, students from different areas, or just students that they've worked with in the classroom, but they're learning how to communicate. Which goes into my next C. Students are able to communicate effectively across multiple media and for various purposes. So our students are able to send emails, communicate through social media, write letters. These are all different modes of communication that we are teaching our students. When it comes to creativity, students are able to generate and improve on original ideas and work creatively with others. And again, we see that collaboration is really a central idea through all these skills. And finally, critical thinking. Students are able to analyze, evaluate, and understand complex systems and apply strategies to solve problems. These are our 4 C's, and we'll be discussing apps and strategies on how your student can apply these in the classroom. Okay. The following slide is an example for parents and just some ways that you can work with your student to become 21st century learners. At this time, I'm going to check Poll Everywhere, and I'll give you time to read over this slide. Okay? So our 21st century classroom, what does it look like? Teachers and students work together to solve tough questions and work through problems. And again, the teacher might not provide all of the answers. This is a great way for students to really think and become critical thinkers in our community. Students get to apply their knowledge and prove what they know by presenting to their classmates, school, or even their community. So this isn't just handing in an essay or completing word problems. Students are applying all the skills that they know, and they're sharing it with their student body, teachers, and even community. This 21st century classroom might seem different than what you remember, but again, this is how we are preparing our students for college and career. And again, students are working in teams. They're working with projects that deal with real and local and even global problems in health, the environment, business, and more. So again, to become a 21st century classroom learner, we are preparing our students to deal with difficult topics, where in the past, students may not have been exposed to this type of curriculum in the classroom. The first resource that I'm going to share with you is Newsella. Newsella is a subscription service that Washington Township is signed up to, and Newsella contains thousands of articles from current events to events that happened in previous years. Students are able to access different types of articles depending on what they're interested in. Many teachers in science, social studies, ELA, math, phys ed, they are also using Newsella. So not only are students being exposed to reading in other classes, they're looking at real-world issues that are current events. And the good feature of Newsella is that students are able to annotate the text, which means they can highlight things, they can make notes, they can compare their notes with classmates, and there is a comprehension quiz at the end, just to check for understanding. The other feature for Newsella is that you can change the lexile level or the word count. So students are able to adjust to their own reading levels when they are reading these articles as well. TED Talks is an excellent way for students to not only view current problems and global problems, but there are thousands of videos that students can access and discuss with others and families when they are talking about being a 21st century learner. Not only is TED Talks available through an app for your iPhone, Android, or iPad, you can also access TED Talks online. Padlet is another resource that students can use, and this is really used for collaboration. It looks almost like a sticky board or a cork board, and students are able to post comments. Students can have discussions on a book that they've read. Students can discuss something that they learned in class. They can post questions. And again, this is one of the ways that we're trying to teach our students to become 21st century learners. Some ideas for using Padlet in the classroom are book clubs, literary circles, content areas. So depending on a certain content area, you might have a do now where students can discuss what they know already about a topic and what they want to learn. And again, those discussions are very important. Okay, Office 365 has been being rolled out through Washington Township over the last 2 years. All of our students currently have an email address through Washington Township. So students can now send emails. They can use OneNote, where many teachers are adding assignments. They can use OneDrive, which is very similar to Google Drive, where students can upload documents, PowerPoint presentations, Excel files. So students have all of these different tools at their fingertips. For your student to log into Office 365, they would visit wtps.org, select Staff, go to Office 365 login, enter their username, which is their first initial last name, at students.wtps.org, and then their password, which is their lunch pin. From here, students have access to all of these different tools. Now we're going to talk about some apps that really will help with your student through collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. and communication. The first app that I'm going to discuss is also web-based, so you can access this online as well, or through your iPad or iPhone, and that's Khan Academy. This offers the users practice exercises, instructional videos, and a personalized learning dashboard to empower our learners to study at their own pace in and outside the classroom. So what Khan Academy does is it has multiple lessons based on standards and grades that students can access. If students are unsure of a certain skill that they're learning in class, they have this resource that they can view and learn the skills on their own. The skills that we have on Khan Academy are math, science, computer programming, history, art, history, economics, and there are many SAT prep exercises, so that really covers our reading and our writing. So it's definitely a great web resource to use with your student. Dragon Dictation App. This is a way for students to speak and record their own personal notes. So if students have a mobile device or a tablet, they can download the Dragon Dictation App, and they can read into it. Whatever they speak into it, it turns into text. So this is a great way if a student wants to review for a test, they can verbally read into the tablet or the iPhone, and they can copy down their own notes. And this has been shown to be up to 5 times faster than typing on a keyboard. The Speak It app is the only app that I have offered on this presentation that is actually a paid app, and it's $2 in the Apple Store. This does the opposite of what the Dragon app does, because you're able to put text into this app, so a Word document, a letter, an article, and it will actually create an audio file for you. So students can put something, maybe a speech, they can put work that they're studying, and they can listen to it as they are doing their work. And the great thing about this is they can email the audio files to anybody. So if students are doing a project, this could be one way that they create a presentation. The Get Epic app is another app that we're going to be viewing tonight. And this is a great resource for parents and teachers alike. So what Get Epic is, it's a web-based library full of thousands of books that are leveled for students. So you can put your student's name into this website. They can pick their own preferences for reading, and they have access to over 1,000 books on the Get Epic app. A great feature for this is that there's both nonfiction text and fictional. Students can also take AR tests from some of the books that are featured on Get Epic. Okay, so this is actually a strategy that you can use with the app Snapchat. So depending on your student's age and how much they're involved with social media, your student may have used Snapchat before. So what parents can do, and this is a great way to annotate the text to really focus on key points, is download the free Snapchat app. As students read their independent reading books at home, you could have the students respond to the text. You could have them save the snaps or snap to your own account, and encourage book snaps with friends. So this is really a great way to encourage social media in an educational way, because students can take a picture of their text, they can make a comment, they can pick out vocabulary, they can ask questions. And again, we do this with our students in the classroom, but this is another engaging way where students can show off their collaboration, their communication skills, their creativity, all in one activity. Here's an example of a book snap using a bit emoji. Okay, so you'll see there's a comment where the student wrote what they think the quote means. They're able to underline, and they show their bit emoji thinking about what's going on. So again, just another interactive way that your student can engage with text at home that's in a newer 21st century style learning. Before we begin our organizations section, I'm going to check with Poll Anywhere, and I'm going to see if there's any questions. Okay, so one of our users tonight posted the question, how can I access my student's account through Washington Township? And again, if you refer back to the WTPS slide with Office 365, I have those step-by-step for you to be able to access your student's work. And again, these are great features that your student can actually bring home with them and download, so they have access to Office 365 on their own computers at home. So great question. So again, so we're talking about organization. Our learners have so many different tasks that they're faced with every day, whether it's a club, whether it's a sport, whether it's another hobby that they have, in addition to what they're doing in the classroom. So a few ways that you can work with your student to become organized is work with your students to prioritize. So start coming up with ways to focus on what events or assignments are most important to get done first. Look at due dates on assignments, and then look at the requirements for each assignment. A lot of times, this is a really successful tip because students are able to plan out when assignments are due and also plan how much time they're going to need for each assignment. Students should begin to number the assignments in order that they should be worked on. So this is where you're beginning to really rank the importance of your learning and your assignments. A lot of times when you have a larger assignment, it's easier to break it down over time. So again, this is a strategy you can work on with your student at home. And finally, you can assist your student in breaking the assignments down using sticky notes, to-do lists, etc. So that's, again, another example of what you can do to help your student with organization. Okay. Another app that you can use for organization is called the Tap Forms app. This is a great way to not only organize due dates, but students can take pictures of assignments, they can write notes, they can download files. This is almost like an interactive filing cabinet that students can use. So it's really a great tool for classroom projects. And again, the other major benefit is that it keeps all your important information in one app. Okay. So we've come to encouraging our 21st century learning. Here are a couple tips. And again, I'll refer back to our poll everywhere as you view those 3 tips. So another question we received is in regards to how to plan if your student doesn't have access to any apps. And again, this really should be student-centered because it's going to teach them the responsibility and give them the skills to plan and organize their own assignments. So it could even be, again, something simple as just a calendar at first, or using the student's assignment book where they're able to practice how to get organized efficiently. Okay. So great question again. So we have 2 really good questions. Please keep sending them through. And at the end, we'll take some time and we'll discuss any remaining questions. Okay. So 3 tips that you can use with your students, and after tonight, you should have resources to be able to do these. So the first one is talk about current events and news. This will give our students background information that they could bring into the classroom. So maybe they're reading current news events in Newsella, and then they go home and you're able to discuss with the student what happened that day. Because again, Newsella is a great resource for current events. This is a great way to start building conversations and teaching your student how to become well-versed in communication. The next tip is having fun in your community. And what this tip really represents is thinking about where you live in your community. what's going on in the community? What events take place? Is there anything that your student and yourself can get involved in so that students start to see that the world really works well when we all work together? One of the community events that we have in Washington Township is our Township Tuesdays. So maybe touching base with school and maybe seeing how you can get involved, which Township Tuesday is a great way to talk about bullying, social media, using internet correctly. All right, so these are great events that we have in our own community. And finally, making decisions about responsible digital practices together. So with the online with online being so massive and having so many different areas that students can access, it's important to have discussions with your student on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, how to communicate online, how to work with each other online. So again, these are conversations that you can have with your students. Okay. Again, so how are we supporting our 21st century education for your student? Getting involved with school. So thinking about any clubs that your student can join, an activity, a sport. Maybe it could even be a leadership position. So really getting your student to learn how to multitask and to take on responsibility in different areas. That kind of leads me into making connections to after school activities, because again, we want our students to be very well versed in different skills before they get to high school. And once they leave high school and enter either the workforce or college. One of the big tips for supporting our 21st century learners is making sure our students are exposed to other languages. With so many different fields growing in technology and anywhere, learning another language would be a huge benefit to our students. So even just having them exposed at a young age is very beneficial. And finally, stay connected. All of our teachers and staff are here to work with your student and your child. We are trying to work together to keep them focused and also to begin developing their own skills, especially those 4 C's. So stay in touch with teachers so that you as a parent know exactly what your student needs to do. Okay. So we've come to the end of the presentation. I'm going to leave this up here for right now. Please continue to send in your questions. I'm going to wait for a couple to come in, and then I'm going to answer them in the order in which I received them. Thank you. And again, to access our poll, I'll leave that up there for you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what are you here for again?
For Parents Night, Saturday night. This is 21st century learning strategies and apps.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Were you coming for the presentation tonight?
Actually, I'm looking for the parent orientation for Chestnut Ridge. I know this isn't Chestnut Ridge, but
Okay.
it was canceled last night, and I guess I just thought it was here.
Okay. Looking for the parents, not the parents, night presentation. Right?
No,
Okay.
parent orientation for fifth graders coming into those.
Okay. Yes, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Oops. Okay. Good evening. So at this time, we are going to end our presentation. Thank you very much for joining us for 21st century learning skills. And again, I'm Joseph Downey. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.